Wait, one second, means you're recording. I should be recording now. Okay. Hello, welcome back to some TenkoBerry. You know what? I could not remember what I was going to say. Okay. Hello, welcome back to some Fireplace talks and stories. Hopefully, you are all doing okay today. And then, you know what? My mouth just does not want to work with me today, I tell you. Does not want to work with me today. But in today's episode of book reading of Fireplace talks and stories, we're going to be reading Disney's Mulan, the Ladybug book. Let me see if I can find the actual year of when this was released. This was made in... I tell you, Ladybug books are terrible because they never have the date. So you always have to go on a little bit of a journey to try and find the actual, the actual date. Alright, so let us begin. So, let me just open up the first page to tell you. Disney Mulan Ladybug book. A catalogue record for this book is available from the British Library, published by Ladybug Books Ltd, a subsidiary of the Penguin Group, a Pearson company. Ladybug and the device of a ladybug are trademarks of Ladybird Books Ltd, Leicestershire, UK. And you know what, I'm not going to read the rest because it's just this, total, all of that. So we'll just go on to finally starting the story. So, any of you who have seen Mulan, it just follows the story of Mulan. So, hopefully you would enjoy this, I tell you. You know what? Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. I thought it would be funny to do this. And if I go like that. I do apologise for keeping you a little bit longer than what it will take to read the book. But bam! There we go. We got Mulan. I'll actually put it in the background so it's not too kind of, in the way. Oops. Okay, it's not gonna fade away. But I'll just put it there. There we go. Under OK New. So now that that's in the background, let us begin. Long ago in a village in ancient China. Now, how ancient are we talking about? Because, they talk about Mongols, I tell you. Invading. But is this like the early Mongol invasion? Though that was quite successful. I know I have to bring in, actual history. But the Mongol Empire lasted between, well, it's founded in 1206. So that's, a bunch of medieval kingdoms in, Europe at that time. 13th and 14th century. So you kind of get the idea of, what I'm saying, It's not really ancient China. It's more like, 800 years ago, and that's not really ancient. Because years can go by quite fast. Long ago in an ancient village in China, there was a young woman named Mulan. She lived with her father, Zhao, her mother, Fa Li, and her grandmother, Fa Zhao. Wait. Her grandmother's not called Fa Zhao, that's her father. I do apologise. Fa Zhao had once been a famous soldier, but the country had been at peace for many years, and he did not expect to have a fight again. Today was an important day for Mulan. And also, I'm not going to bring up any more history, just so I don't spoil any of the stories for you. But, China being at peace for a long time, wow, that's quite unusual. Today was an important day for Mulan. She was going to meet the matchmaker, but Mulan was very late getting ready. Fa Li quickly added the family comb as the final touch, not as a final touch. Then Mulan hurried away to join the line outside the matchmaker's house. She was the first to be called in. The matchmaker asked Mulan to pour some tea. You must demonstrate dignity and refinement. And the matchmaker, not and, sorry, it faded together there for me. The matchmaker told her. But this wasn't easy, especially when she, well, Creely, no, Creaky, okay, Creaky. Mulan's lucky cricket decided to help. Soon tea spilled over the table, and incense, do apologize, burner fell to the floor, and the matchmaker's dress caught fire. It was a disaster, and Mulan got the blame. The matchmaker was furious. You may look like a bride, she screamed at Mulan, but you will never bring your family honor. I tell you, honor is like a good thing, but then it's always used for bad. That's why, so many... Oop, there goes my book bag there, do apologize. Mulan's mother and grandmother led her away. The whole family was in disgrace. Mulan removed her comb and sat sadly in the garden. She thought about what had happened. What would her father say? Was the matchmaker right? Would she never bring honor to her family? What beautiful blossoms, said a quiet voice beside her. It was her father, pointing out a bud in the tree. Look, this one is late. When it blooms, it will be the most beautiful of all. He put Mulan's comb back in her hair. Mulan smiled. She was forgiven. Suddenly, drums rolled in the distance. I'll just say roared in the distance because it says rolled, and I feel like roared would be better. And a crowd gathered in the village. There was very bad news. The enemy, Shan Yu, and the Huns had invaded China by order of the emperor. One man from every family must serve in the imperial family. Fa Zhao was called to fight for the honor of his family and his country. That night, as the rain beat heavily on the temple statue, Mulan was lost in thought. She was worried about her father. Why should he have to go to war? He's too old and lame to fight now. But how can I stop him? Suddenly, Mulan had an idea. As lightning flashed around her, she stole into her parents' room, do apologize. Picked up Fa Zhao's army papers and replaced them with her comb. Then, dressed in her father's armor and sword, she took her father's horse and rode off into the night. A crash of thunder woke the family. They found Mulan was gone. She had taken Fa Zhao's place in the army. Throughout the night, wind gusted through the Fa family temple. Shadows danced across the walls. Mushu, awaken, came the voice of the first ancestor. Doesn't that mean everyone's related to this ancestor, or is it their first ancestor? Like their line started with that guy. But then that's the weird thing. Sorry, I'm putting too much thought into this. And a incense burner transformed at once into a tiny dragon. The ancestor ordered Mushu to go outside and wake the great stone dragon. This was the Fa family guardian, chosen by the ancestors to protect Mulan. Reluctantly, Mushu climbed the great stone dragon and banged its head with his gong. Crunch! The statue crumbled beneath him. Oh no, who would help Mulan now? The real stone dragon was Mushu all along. That is what I will say. Creaky chirped and suggested Mushu should go instead. That's it, cried Mushu triumphantly. I'll do it. I'll make Mulan a hero, and then I'll be made a proper guardian. So, joining forces with Creaky, Mushu went to find Mulan. Mulan was on a cliff overlooking the Imperial training camp. Who am I fooling? She said to her horse, Khan. That's so funny, Khan. You know, like Genghis Khan. The Khan family. It's going to take a miracle to get me into the army. Did I hear someone ask for a miracle? Said a powerful voice behind her. Mushu grandly introduced himself as her ancestral guardian. Mulan turned to see a tiny creature with Creaky. My ancestors have sent a little lizard to help me, she asked, puzzled. Dragon, corrected Mushu. Not lizard. And of course I'm travel size for your convenience. Mulan still wasn't sure, but knowing she would need all the help she could get, she decided to follow Mushu's advice and went to join the Imperial Army. Okay. Mulan's first day went badly. She accidentally started a fight with 3 of the new recruits, and within minutes the whole camp was in chaos. Shang, the Imperial Army captain, swiftly brought the troops to order. He spoke sternly to Mulan, and don't need anyone causing trouble in the camp. Show me your army papers. Mulan nervously handed them over. Shang was surprised to learn that the great Fa Xiao had a son, but he accepted it. Her secret was safe for the moment. Captain Shang ordered the recruits to tidy up. Your training starts tomorrow, and you all have a lot to learn. Sorry, I'm not the best reader, but I'll do my best for you, because we have a lot of books to go through. We need to work up our way to basically the whole history book, because I have a book of all the history of the world. That's gonna take a long time to get through. Later, when the training was complete, Captain Shang led the way over the long mountain pass. All around were signs. Wait, did I skip a page? No, it just skips, the entire training bit. But I'll make a man out of you. That. You missed that entire section. How could they? Later, when the training was complete, Captain Shang led the way over the long mountain pass. All around were signs of a fierce battle, and black smoke curled up into the sky. Actually, because some of it's still raging, it should also be quite white smoke, because when, smoke of fire, dies, it turns white instead of, black. It's very weird, it's very weird. Curled up into the sky, the main army had been destroyed. Suddenly, Shan Yu and his soldiers surrounded them. Flaming arrows showered down on Shang's men. Prepare to fight, cried Shang. If we die with honor. But Mulan had a different idea. She fired the cannon into the mountains and triggered off a avalanche. Shanju struck her with his sword, but she saw Shang buried in the snow and went to rescue him. Soon the enemy was engulfed in snow. Shang and his soldiers proclaimed Mulan the hero, but she collapsed in pain. Oh, someone went through this bit of the book with someone's lipstick, like a red pen. Mulan awoke in the doctor's tent, surrounded by angry faces. She knew at once that her secret had been discovered. She was a disgrace to the Imperial Army. It was Captain Shang's duty to kill her. Shang held a sword above Mulan's head. A life for a life, he said. firmly. My debt is repaid. Then he threw the sword down and ordered the troops to go home. Mulan was left in the mountains. Meanwhile, Shanju, falcon, flew high above the mountain pass. Oh, Shanju's falcon flew high above the mountain pass. It screamed and dived down as its master's arm thrust up through the snow. Then Mulan and her friends watched in horror as Shanju and 5 of his warriors climbed out of their snowy graves. Perfect, said Shanju. Now for the Imperial Army. I don't think Mulan actually watched this. I think, it happened, off camera in the actual movie. Well, not really off camera. It was on camera, but, they weren't there for that scene, You know what I mean. You know what I mean if you've seen the movie. If not, I'll recommend the movie. Just not the live action one. That one, you don't even get the song. I'll make a man out of you. That song. Now for the Imperial City. Mulan didn't hesitate. She picked up her sword and raced away. On Kan, Mushu, and Kriki followed swiftly. In the Imperial City, everyone gathered to celebrate the army's victory. Mulan struggled to find a way through the crowds. She spotted Shang and tried to warn him that the Emperor was in danger, but the captain turned her away, refusing to trust her a second time. As the Emperor came forward to honor the troops, Shanju came out of hiding, and his men emerged from their paper dragon. Taking everyone by surprise, they captured the Emperor and held him prisoner in a palace tower, not the Imperial Palace Tower, but a palace tower of the Imperial Palace. You know what I mean. Shang and his soldiers couldn't get in, but Mulan beckoned them to follow her. They trusted her now. She disguised herself and 3 soldiers, Ling, Yao, and Chen Po. First time that we're hearing their names. They're best friends with her now. But this is the first time that we're getting to hear the names. When you normally hear it at the start of the movie. As palace maidens, and led the way to the tower entrance, they diverted the Hun's attention while Shang ran upstairs. Then they overpowered the Hun guards and raced to the rescue of the Emperor. As Shang fought Shan Yu, Mulan and her friends helped the Emperor to get away to safety. Shan Yu was furious and prepared to kill Shang. You took away my victory, he roared. No, I did, said Mulan, and she pulled back her hair. Shan Yu recognized her at once, the soldier from the mountains. Then, furious, he chased Mulan out onto the roof. It looks like you're out of ideas, he sneered. Not quite, answered Mulan. Ready, Mushu? A burning rocket flew towards them. Oh, sorry, my computer went off there. My monitor. Okay, so a burning rocket flew towards them and hit Shan Yu. It sent him crashing into the munitions tower. Who has a tower full of munitions, huh? Who decides, what? We got a well, we got a warehouse. Oh, no, we'll just pick that tower. That's where we're putting all of our ammunition, all the fireworks, we're just putting it in that one tower. Basically, to just annihilate the whole supply of, ammunition for that area, they're gonna have to call in, a lot of resources to fill back in all that gaps. Okay, back to the normal, reading. Mulan slid down to the ground, where she landed on Shang. She hugged him, pleased to see he had escaped unharmed. They watched together as fireworks exploded around them, and a fireball engulfed the palace. Now Mulan had to face the Emperor. I've heard a good deal about you, femme Mulan, he said sternly. You stole your father's armor, ran away from home, impersonated a soldier, dishonored the Chinese army, destroyed my palace, and you saved us all. Then down to Milan, the emperor presented his medallion, and Shan Yu's sword. These will show your family what you have done for me and for China. The next day, Mulan gave her father the emperor's gifts. These are to honor the Fa family, she said. Fa Zhao gave her a big hug. The greatest honor is having you for a daughter. As Shang came into the garden and was welcomed by the family, Mushu and the ancestors watched them from the temple. Mushu nudged the first ancestor and said, "Okay, who did a good job, then?" And Mushu was made a guardian at last. Okay, I'll just add a little bit to the story. And then, Shang and Mulan end up together at the end. They live happily ever after until the next Mongol invasion. But that's the story. That's the end of the story. It is kind of just, a bunch of the, movie just cut up just for, for kids to read through. Not really for adults, but hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll read the back of it for you. Recapture the assignment of Disney's Mulan, the tale of a girl who takes her father's place in the Imperial Army. Sorry about that. Can Mulan bring honor to her family, or will her true identity be real? Well, that's kind of what happened. That's kind of what happened. Both ways, it both happened. This was originally $1.99. Who paid £2 for a book like that? I guess they used a lot of dye, so they wanted to get back the dye money. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this reading. Have a nice day, safe, hope it is double. Maybe some more shoes. Nick with the vitamins, very important. I'm a bye, see you next time. Bye bye, see you, bye bye.